Good evening, folks, and a very warm welcome, and I mean a very warm welcome to DinamoTV, the official podcast of the St Albans Dinamo Football Club. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you here tonight. My name is Tonchi Prusak, and can you believe it's already episode 6 of our weekly podcast? And we say it every week. Boy, have we got a massive show lined up for you tonight. It is going to be absolutely huge in so many ways. We've got all the news, the results, the fallout of last weekend's games. The season is well and truly underway, both in the NPL competition and certainly the junior boys NPL program as well. We've got some interesting behind-the-scenes footage of a lot of juniors as well. Some lucky juniors that scored themselves some free gifts after last Sunday's home game. And I guess the lesson there is perseverance and step out of your comfort zone. Don't be shy, and you'll get what you want to get. So certainly well done to the kids involved. But we'll go on about that. But our guests for tonight. Well, we've gone right to the top for tonight's show, folks. We're going to be speaking in a live and exclusive interview with ILIJA DRAGICEVIC. That is going to be coming to us live. We're going to be doing a live crossover to the Churchill Reserve club rooms. We're also going to be revealing, unveiling, announcing, whatever you like, this week's player of the week. Who has won it? Last week it was our goalkeeper, Joško Keranovic. This week, well, who could it be? Who do you think it could be? Pop it down in the chat section. And speaking of the chat, we'd love to know where you're tuning in from, anywhere on this great planet of ours. So apart from that, it's also week 2 of our Meet the Team segment. We'll be meeting tonight's team, and that is the under-15 boys junior NPL. So a lot happening this week. Don't go away, folks. It's going to be time straight away for the news segment immediately after this short commercial break.
The I&D Group is regarded as one of the largest deliverers of concrete structure solutions in Victoria. Formed in 1994 by Ivan and Kathy Filipovic, their passion and commitment to getting the job done safely and economically has underpinned their success in the industry. I&D partners with large-scale building and construction companies in both the private and public sectors on projects large and small. With our corporate headquarters based in South Melbourne and storage yard based in the southeast suburbs, we have at our disposal thousands of square metres of quality materials, along with state-of-the-art lifting and crane equipment, enabling us to deliver the largest projects. We are committed to delivering high-quality projects by partnering with our clients and collaborating with project suppliers to ensure each job is delivered to exceed expectations. From humble beginnings, I&D now employs more than 1,200 dedicated professional and support staff, involved in a number of landmark projects right across Victoria. The I&D Group is a massive supporter of the Croatian community, backed soccer clubs in Victoria, and is proud to be the major sponsor of the St Albans Dinamo Football Club in 2024.
Welcome back to DinamoTV, and already we are having our chat lines with some interesting information. We've got an overseas guest. Yes, it's an old dad joke, but welcome to St Divin from Tasmania, tuning in from the Apple Isle. I'm sure we've also got some international guests as well, and wherever you may be around our state here in Victoria or around Australia, be it the mainland or be it Tasmania. Once again, big cheerio to Suzanne. Where do we start? Well, let's start off with the senior men's team. It was time for round 2 action, our first home game of the season. And unfortunately, it wasn't the best result, I guess, in the sense that it was a loss, but we certainly gave Avondale, last year's champions, a run for their money. That's for sure. We're going to have some footage, and then we've also got some post-match comments as well. Take it away, boys.
go through the team news very quickly. There is but the one change for Ryan McGuffey's men. It is a big addition. In comes Englishman Scott Bacour, the new signing from Warrington Rylands, is into the 11 in place of Alan Jerez. Jasko Koranovic, after his man-of-the-match performance last week, leads his side in between the sticks as we get things underway. St Albans will attack the left of screen in the first half. And marshalling the back four will be a former Avondale man.
He came to claim, but in the end he had to punch under pressure from Kamara. I think he wanted a free kick there.
Debbie! Who's on 11?
Into the near post of Chris Dibb, I think. Crowded 6-yard box again. It's being hassled and harried in possession. Sion Cuba, and it breaks for St Albans now. What can they do in transition? It's Ivan Razumic. Little reverse pass, Josh Divin! His first goal for the club, and what a time to score it against the reigning champions. Immaculate finish into the top corner, and St Albans take a shock lead.
Immaculate finish, immaculate build-up. That was a textbook counter-attack. It's been a very, very impressive performance so far, though, from Josh Divin, a man who's come across from Western United's academy side, where he played 17 games in VPL 1, or NPL 2 as it was formerly known last season. One of their pickups from Tasmania, South Hobart product. Settling nicely into life across the Tasman in the top flight. Trajceski picks the gap for Cuba, and Kerr is in behind! Well, that's a brilliant way to open your Avondale account. St Albans, a goal of fine conception in their own right, and Avondale answer back in some style. A brilliant ball from Cuba, and the little lob from Kerr gets it done, and the chain
In those situations. Sion Cuba's cross. Too high for Razumic to clear his lines, and now Avondale gets a second bite at this through Blake Carpenter, who's given it straight to Summerskill. Summerskill hacked down, advantage paid by Yanni Zizis. And then a second foul against Yusuf Ahmed. And it looks like my name is Josh Parrish. I've got Lockie Flanagan alongside me for this one on the NPL Victoria live stream. It has been a barn burner so far. Can only hope the entertainment continues in this second half as Avondale kick off, kicking from right to left in their all-white away strip. St Albans in the all-blue.
Well, I asked you a question, Josh, during the half-time interval, and it was a question for, Josh. It's had energy, high tempo throughout the first 45. We can only hope that the second stanza brings more of the same.
Just on that Kerr penalty shout there, I do think Chris Dibb got the ball, but it's whether you consider the subsequent trip to be a new phase or not. I think Yanni Zizis made the right call there.
Inclined to agree. Good press from Kerr. The numbers are forward. Trajceski gets the beating of his man eventually. Returns the favour to Kerr! A cracker! Kerr goes bang bang either side of the half. And he shows everyone at Avondale and everyone in the NPL Victoria just what he can do. His first was good, but the second was even better. And Avondale have the lead. They know that Dinamo have just lost a little bit of puff. The second win that they might have hoped for in stoppage time, chasing an equaliser, might not have arrived.
Maybe time for one last push if they can get the ball up the pitch. No, there's no time left. And Avondale will leave Churchill Reserve with all 3 points And they were made to work.
So here we are with senior coach Ryan McGuffey. Ryan, disappointed with today's result, but not the effort.
Really disappointed with the result, but I thought the boys played really well today. Playing against a really good side, but to come away disappointed with a 2-1 result when I think we should have got something like that. Like we've left a point behind today, so yeah, disappointed. But the effort for the team was tremendous.
And obviously that bodes well then for going into next week against Dandy City.
Well, you've got to just take it one game at a time, and we executed the game plan today with a 3-4-2-1 formation to nullify the wide players in it. It worked, and in the first half we turned the ball over a few times where we got caught them in the counter, and I think we had about 5 or 6 chances that were really good chances. Just a better execution, and we could have went in with a goal lead.
We've got a lot of young boys in that senior squad at the moment. Any of those that you're keeping an eye on through the 23s?
Yeah, there's about 5 or 6 that are playing with the 23s that are doing really well and have been training really well. They've been training with the seniors team, and I'll become monitoring all the players, and then they know if they're doing really well and they keep performing and training, then it's just a matter of time before they get a chance.
No worries, thanks for your time, and on to next week.
Cheers, thank you.
You're on DinamoTV with James Riccobene. James, up against your old club today, how did that feel?
Yeah, it was obviously a bit of a challenge for me personally, and obviously as a collective as well. It's always nice to go out against your old team, but yeah, we had a game plan today. We stuck to it. Look, we didn't get the win, but it was a lot of positives to take out of it.
Bit of banter with some of your old teammates during the week, was there?
Yeah, of course. I saw Joey Kagan during the week. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. I just stay with at least a metre away from me. I said, if you come within that metre, mate, I said, you're going to be going to start kicking you. So yeah, a bit of a laugh amongst some of the players, but yeah, once you cross that wide line, it's down to business really. Yeah, that's what we did today.
Yeah. And how are you finding life here at Dinamo?
It's good, it's great. New challenge for me. Boys are great. Club's really good, nice little close club, and it's nice to have some fans in my games, which is nice. Makes a big difference having that 12th man, and yeah, it just helps with the momentum across the field.
No worries. All right, thanks for your time.
And then we have the post-match statistics, 19 shots in total from Avondale, only 7 for us. We had 3 shots on target, whereas they had 6. And there are the other statistics. Big shout out to Ian Burke, the assistant coach of the under-23s. And from now on, he's going to be our roving post-match reporter for DinamoTV. So we look forward to seeing some more fantastic work from Berkey, interviewing players and coaches post-match. And he did such a brilliant job on Sunday. We're getting him back for the big Croatian derby this Sunday. But there's the standings after round 2. We occupy a mid-table position, yet to open our account, but hopefully come Sunday that will be the case. Very quickly, let's recap the results of round 2. Knights lost to Port Melbourne Sharks 1-3 on the Friday night. Heidelberg United 1-1 with Oakley Cannons. Dandenong City, our sister club, defeated Altona Magic 3-2 at home. On Saturday, South Melbourne, once again a 1-0 win, this time over Moreland City. Manningham United, the newly promoted Blues, they defeated Dandenong Thunder 2-1. And Hume City defeated Green Gully 2-0. And that sees us now, as I said, in 9th position. We will be playing on Sunday with the big game, and we'll be talking a lot about that throughout the rest of this evening's show. But let's have a look at the kickoff times. There we go. The under-23s, they'll kick off at 2:30 p.m. and the seniors kicking off at 5 p.m. So if we're talking about the under-23s, well, the under-23s, they did very, very well on the weekend. So they actually did so well. They defeated Avondale 3-1. The goal scorers for Dinamo included Nicholas Murray, again amongst the goal scorers, Anton Bilic and Arben Gegay. So if we have a quick look now at the ladder for the under-23s, Well done to the 23s. At the moment, they occupy they're in equal second and only in fourth on goal difference at the moment. So a big game coming up against the undefeated Dandenong City this Sunday, as we mentioned. Kickoff there is at 2:30 p.m. And straight after the game, our man, this is quite an interesting interview. The assistant interviewed the head coach. And this is what Adam Tenenini had to say after the game to DinamoTV.
Here we are with under-23s head coach Adam Tenenini. Tonight, good win today?
Yeah, Berkey, pretty happy with the result. We scored a couple of goals early, which sort of dictated the game, but in the end, boys did really well in testing conditions, but really happy with the 3-1.
Yep, and impressed with the senior boys who dropped down and helped out today?
Yeah, definitely. Nick Murray, if we can get some vision of the game, he scored a ripper goal in the first minute. Nelson Songo did his job at right back, holding one of their most influential players, and DeBono, Maglaris, Chabrea all put in the shift, so I was really happy, yeah.
And without giving away too many trade secrets, things to work on for next week?
Definitely a couple of things to work on, especially in our defensive third, but we've spoken about that, Berkey. We'll practice it during the week on the track and hopefully get it right for Dandy City.
Excellent. Good win. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone that came out. Cheers.
You are tuning in to DinamoTV. It is our 6th episode. And once again, a big shout out to Ian Burke, who is the assistant coach in the under-23s, but he's also our new post-match roving reporter for DinamoTV. Let's turn our attention now to the Junior Boys NPL program. We had the round 3 games played last weekend. The under-14s, unfortunately, they lost 1-0 against Caroline Springs George Cross. The 15s had a great win, and they will be the subject of our Meet the Team segment a little later on. 3-1 win courtesy of goals from Maxi Mikulic, Nicholas Lagozzo, and Cruz Borg. Well done to the 15s. And I guess when we announced that we're going to feature the 15s, for example, they win. When we announced the 14s, they won last week as well. So this next week it will be the turn of the under-16s. So we're hoping that the under-16s will be recording a win on the weekend. Speaking of the under-16s, they drew one goal apiece against George Cross. Pavel Bilic was the lone scorer for the 16s. And in a high-scoring affair, the under-18s drew 3-3. Joshua Angelis, Giuseppe Prestinensi, and Nicholas Masiti scoring the singles apiece for the Dinamovci. Well, they don't get any tougher than this. We're coming up against the academy side from Western United this Sunday. All the games will be held at Saltwater Reserve in Point Cook. The 14s kick off the day at 9:30, followed by the 15s at 11:10. The under-16s then play at 1 o'clock and the under-18s at 3 o'clock. And they'll finish their game in time to be able to dart back to Churchill Reserve and take in the seniors. So that's going to be something worth hanging around for, that's for sure. Now, on the weekend, before we go any further, a big shout out to all the Gorspich Bears folk. They are having their big 20th anniversary this weekend. So that's going to be happening. I think it is a sellout. That's happening at Dinamo's club rooms there at Churchill Reserve this Saturday night. But you can ring Marco there on 0422 115 649. There may be a couple of tickets, who knows, but get in there early. And certainly last but not least for the news desk, a huge news desk tonight. 3 young kids. Well, they were very, very lucky on the weekend, and they managed to follow their idols around, and post-match they were rewarded for their perseverance. This is what unfolded at Churchill Reserve after last Sunday's game.
TV. What have you got there? What did you get? You got gloves. What did you get? Whose boots that?
Evil's.
Ivo Razumic. And the gloves? Yashko's. And you got Ivo's other boot? What about Dibi? Did Dibi give you anything? No. Boo, Dibi.
Let's go get Dibi next.
Let's go inside and get Dibi. Let's go.
Right, let's go.
Let's go see what he's got. Maybe steal some chavapi off his plate. Down the end there.
Divi, there he is. Hey. The boys are asking for something. What do you want?
Got a couple of bucks?
Yeah, I've got one inside. Yeah, give me inside that one.
What about a couple of chabaps for the boys?
Yeah, how long is there in Chibati? The chips? Yeah, I'm going to need some chips. Would you like to take the whole tray? Chips, I'll take anything. Chips, I'll take anything. What do you say, boys? Welcome back to DinamoTV, and very, very shortly we'll be crossing live over to Churchill Reserve, where we'll be speaking to the president of St Albans Dinamo, ILIJA DRAGICEVIC, in a live and exclusive interview with DinamoTV. But time now for the team of the week.
On the camera,
Okay, we're here with the under-15s junior NPL team manager Darren Korzels. He was present at today's game in a massive 3-1 victory to the St Albans Dinamo under-15s against Caroline Springs George Cross. Darren, tell me, how do you think the performance was overall today from the boys?
Anthony and people. The boys did well today. Played a good, attractive style of football. We had a 2-0 lead at half-time. We copped one in the second half and then got back on top for a good 3-1 win. So pretty happy with that.
No problem. You've got now 6 points from the first 3 games. What are your hopes for the rest of the season in terms of the Divi 1, Divi 2, Divi 3 breakdown? Do you think we've got a good chance of finishing in the upper tiers?
We hope the boys keep progressing as they're going and playing really well and attractive football. And if everything goes well, hopefully it's Divi 1 or Divi 2 finish.
Fantastic. And a few new players have come in this season. Tell me, how have they gelled and come into the team?
The new boys have come in pretty well. They've gelled pretty good. It's pretty seamless, and hopefully it continues.
And one more for the road. Western United this week away. How do you think the boys will prepare throughout the week and be ready for the game on Sunday? Big game.
I think it's natural preparation like we always do with our coaches and coaching staff. Tough game like always against the A-League opponent. And just play our best and see what happens.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Darren, and all the very best for the rest of the season.
Welcome back to DinamoTV. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome to DinamoTV the president himself, the head honcho, the man who oversees everything at Churchill Reserve, ILIJA DRAGICEVIC. ILIJA, it's an absolute pleasure and welcome to DinamoTV.
Good evening, Tonchi, and good evening to all the viewers. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Now, mate, you are in front of the Chanchard Bar upstairs at Churchill Reserve. Has the cool change hit Churchill Reserve yet? Have the boys finished training? Are they all ready for Sunday's big game?
Well, yes, the cool change has dropped a little bit, not enough for our liking, but the boys have just finished training. I think they're getting changed, and one of the players will be joining us shortly after myself. But otherwise, it's we're looking forward to the big game this week against Dandy, our brothers from the other side of town.
Yeah,
looking forward to a great day.
We'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later on. But, mate, tell us the ILIJA DRAGICEVIC story, because you've got a long and illustrious history with the club, both as a player, a coach, administrator, I guess a supporter, you name it. But how did you first start? Well, how did you first fall in love with the round ball?
Well, my story is, I guess it's a twofold story, and it's no secret as a junior that I played and was part of the Melbourne Knights, Melbourne Croatia, and spent some amazing years at Melbourne, as known today, Melbourne Knights, and grew my passion for soccer, for the Croatian community via Melbourne Croatia and Melbourne Knights. Also, at that time, I was attending St Albans Dinamo games on a Saturday, because traditionally Melbourne Croatia played on a Sunday. I played my soccer on a Sunday. But Saturdays, my dad and myself would venture out to St Albans, Churchill Reserve, watch a lot of St Albans games, and then I became familiar with the people of St Albans. And as I grew and played my soccer, I had a lot of affiliation with people here, my age group, and made a lot of friends that way. And then continued playing, and up until senior level. In the year 1999, I became a St Albans player, and that was, I don't know, nothing that really I thought was going to happen, but it just did, because the soccer journey is such that one day a door closes, and then the next day the door opens. So the door at St Albans opened, and I was very familiar with the club. I came over, and I guess it all started from there. I became a senior player. For about 7 years, I was a senior player, and whilst I was a senior player, I captained the team. I played, somewhere near 100 odd games for the seniors. Had a lot of ups and a lot of downs as well, as senior soccer does. Experienced some different coaches. Really, some were really great, inspiring coaches at the time.
Who are some of the ones that stood in your mind that made a real impact on you, not just as a player, but as a person, as a man?
Well, look, the first coach that I had at St Albans was Sveto Rasticic. And Sveto Rasticic, coming from Melbourne Knights or Melbourne Croatia, he was a coach of mine in the youth team. So he was a big influence of me coming here. And then whilst I was here, I had the privilege of playing under Mickey Peterson, and we all know who Mickey Peterson is in the soccer world, and that he was an exceptional coach, and a coach that I probably one of the best that I had. And then from there we had different coaches, nothing really long term. It was one of those periods of St Albans that coaches didn't last too long, and the team was up and the team was down. We did have consistency in the players. So we formed really good friendships within the senior structure. And Mario Avondale, who is, for me, probably one of the better captains of this club. I had the privilege of playing with Mickey Chelina, who was a great leader at this club, and a very well-respected person at this club. Josip Čuže, a long-servant player, And there are so many more. I mean, the adopted Croatian, which is Konstanidis, he was a loyal player here at this club. And there's many, many more that we experienced, many friendships that we created over the years. And that's sort of how St Albans became my club and a part of my journey. And then it wasn't until probably 2012, I think it was, when Mick Cicciolina asked me to be an assistant coach. He was a senior coach. So I ventured out into coaching, senior coaching, and that was a really, really great year as an experience. But what it did, it actually convinced me that that wasn't something that I wanted to do in the future.
Righto.
I didn't want to be a coach in the future.
Yeah. What were some of the things that kind of really put you off coaching? Was it like more personal, or was it just things you weren't able to control on the field, or what was it?
I think at the time, adjusting to players' needs was something that I really wasn't. I thought players sort of were becoming very, very selfish and only thinking about themselves, and that was something that I was not going to be able to handle on a weekly basis. So I just said, no, that's not for me. And sort of then, my son came along. He was looking for a club, and Dinamo had a Mali Plavi program, right? So he was 4 years old when he started the Mali Plavi program. And the Mali Plavi program is still going. It's still very strong, still a big thing at our club that we value enormously. And he became part of that. And as soccer and his passion started to grow, I started to coach a little bit, with the juniors. And from there, obviously, as you're at the club and the club needs support, got into the junior committee. From the junior committee, I'm in the senior committee and president for my third year running now.
Did you ever kind of in your wildest dreams think like, when your son did get into the Mali Plavi and you started getting involved in the junior committee, that you'd actually be running the club as a president? I mean, it's such a stressful gig, a stressful job. Were you pushed by someone there in the one of your colleagues there, or was it just something that you saw an opportunity that you could do something and change something at the club?
I think it was that, Taunchy. We felt that the club probably needed a little bit of a change, a bit of a direction. And we were, passionate about our kids playing soccer and teaching them, to play some good soccer. And with the background and being involved in soccer and stuff, so we just thought, let's give it a crack. Let's try and make a difference. And we slowly started to do that. And then we got some great people involved in the early days. With Stepan Gal, Ivan Miroc, Mickey Pete, myself, Augie. These were guys that we stood in this position as a junior committee and just said, let's make a difference for our kids. Let's give them the opportunities. Let's really increase their participation in playing this game and build the passion within a club and these kids to hopefully, they'll grow into this club and still be passionate when they're 20, 30 and 40, just like we are.
Yeah. Now, if you've got any questions for ILIJA Dragicevich, the president of Dinamo St Albans, please, in the chat section, pop your question down. We might even get to those a little bit later on. But ILIJA, if we could ask you, now you've been president of the club now for 3 years, and we've seen some great innovation. We've seen lots of facility improvements. One of the innovations is this, the DinamoTV. Not too many clubs around the NPL competition have their own weekly podcast. So congratulations to you and to the committee for that foresight. But what are some of the short, medium and long-term goals that you and your team have put together? And what are some of those goals that have already been met?
Well, look, Tonchi, I think it's fair to say right now, probably the opportunity is right to say that we as a club and as a committee and leaders of this club are not influenced by what people are doing externally outside of this club. We actually, our goal and our ambition comes from our passion to be a better Dinamo. So everything that we do, we just ask ourselves, how is this going to be better for the club? How are we going to make this club better? And what can we do to be progressive? One, I think that's really important. To follow, what our families and what our parents and what our kids need. So that's a big goal of ours. So we're not influenced by what other people are doing. We're just influenced by ourselves and trying to make us better, trying to make us a better club, make Dinamo better. So they're our internal system that we use to become better. Now we do have short-term goals. We do have long-term ones. Our short-term goal, from a soccer perspective, I'd say starting in the senior level, would be to play finals. Definitely, that's definitely a goal for everyone at the club. We'd love to see, end of the season playing a finals game. I think this club would like really, really come to life if we played a finals game. Now, how far we are from that, we don't know yet. Okay, but we are doing the best that we can to get there. Another part is our girls program. We're really passionate about growing that in the club. We are restricted in some manner because we don't have the right facilities to grow that at the moment, but that's part of our 5-year plus goal, is to build the infrastructure at the club and then perhaps be able to provide the necessary facilities for women to grow at this club and become a big part of this club. So that's a short and a long-term goal for us.
Yeah, fantastic, mate. This is absolutely awesome. We've got a few people in the chat already making some comments. A certain Adam Tenanini says, "I need new agility poles and a ball pump. Thanks, Ilya. You're the best." Ivica Petrolic, heavily involved with the Gorspic Bears. He says, comments about last Sunday's game, Dinamo played with heart. Let's talk very quickly about Sunday's game. Coming up against the reigning champions, I mean, we all know Avondale are in a league of their own. They've got unbelievable resources on and off the pitch. But, mate, that goal by Josh Divin, like after, 19 minutes, and that first half, the pressure that we were putting on Avondale, and yes, they came out, but they were made, as Josh Parrish, I think, said in the commentary, they were really made to work. That must have been really, really providing a lot of hope, as you say, to that one of those short-term goals of eventually playing in the finals.
Well, look, you start pre-season for us pre-season started about 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's us as a committee, as a club, coaching. We sit down, we review the year before, and we say, how are we going to get better and what are we going to do to get better? And then when the boys put on a performance like that, you think, well, we are heading in the right direction. And we all took a lot of hope last week going into the rest of the year. And look, our challenge is to actually do that every week. Yeah. I think that's our biggest challenge with our playing group and our coaches, to actually get the boys to that level every week. And if we can do that and manage to get them there, then it's going to be a real positive year for us.
I loved James Riccobene's comment there to Berkey straight afterwards. He goes, "It's nice to play in front of fans and have fans for a change." So I'm sure even the Avondale players appreciated it. Folks, we are speaking to the president, ILIJA DRAGICEVIC. We're going to take a very, very short break, and when we return, we'll be talking about the Croatian soccer tournament coming up, plans for 2025, and some very interesting plans regarding the infrastructure and further growth of the club. We'll also be talking about the big Sponsors Day coming up this Sunday. Folks, don't go away.
The I&D Group is regarded as one of the largest deliverers of concrete structure solutions in Victoria. Formed in 1994 by Ivan and Kathy Filipovic, their passion and commitment to getting the job done safely and economically has underpinned their success in the industry. I&D partners with large-scale building and construction companies in both the private and public sectors on projects large and small. With our corporate headquarters based in South Melbourne and storage yard based in the southeast suburbs, we have at our disposal thousands of square metres of quality materials, along with state-of-the-art lifting and crane equipment, enabling us to deliver the largest projects. We are committed to delivering high-quality projects by partnering with our clients and collaborating with project suppliers to ensure each job is delivered to exceed expectations. From humble beginnings, I&D now employs more than 1,200 dedicated professional and support staff, involved in a number of landmark projects right across Victoria. The I&D Group is a massive supporter of the Croatian community, backed soccer clubs in Victoria, and is proud to be the major sponsor of the St Albans Dinamo Football Club in 2024.
Welcome back to DinamoTV, and we are speaking to El Presidente, ILIJA DRAGICEVIC. ILIJA, let's turn our attention now to late September, early October this year. These 2 months have just flown by, so I'm sure 2024 will likewise. But it's the Australian Croatian Soccer Tournament, and yay, we are hosting it this year. Mate, we know how big it is. We know how massive of an undertaking it is. But what specifically does it mean to our club? How important is it for us to hold a very successful tournament?
Well, Taunchy, I think it's just an opportunity for us to show again, as a club, how the direction that we're heading in, which is a really positive one. It's about bringing all the people together at our club, and not only at our club, but within our whole community, and our extended community through St Albans, out to all the Croatian clubs, all the Croatian people within Melbourne and Australia. So for us, it's a big thing at our club. We believe that right now we are in a very, very good position with great people at the club, great families, mums, dads, volunteers. We really are got some really good energy at the club to tackle this and to make this happen and be successful at it.
Yeah, mate. And how we are a Croatian club. We're a Croatian community-backed club, and we are very proud of it. And I guess in years gone by, a lot of soccer clubs have been almost embarrassed by their heritage. We don't. We don't shy away from it. But aside from obviously attracting a lot of Croatians, we attract a lot of non-Croatians. If we look at our playing staff, we look at our supporters, we look at our coaches. And it seems to me that when people know just how proud we are of who we are, people are attracted by that. Why is it, Jason Zeri is our football operations manager. He's been with us for 10 years. We've got an Italian and an Australian running our under-23s team. We've got 3/4 of our players in the first team are all non-Croatian. What is it about Dinamo specifically that is so welcoming to a lot of people in our community? We were at the Lunar Festival and our Chavapi sold out, is just an example. Mate, that must make you really proud that people that come to the club really respect who we are, what we are. But at the same time, we as a club welcome everyone to the club.
Definitely, Taunchy, definitely. And I think it's part of our direction. It's part of our, and I've seen this over so many years now, because we have this saying at Dinamo, you're not a Dinamo player if you're Croatian. You're a Dinamo player. That's what you are. If you're at this club, you're a Dinamo player. And we don't look whether you're Croatian or if you're committed to this club will be committed to you. And I think that's really important, where, there is a little bit of a stigma externally, and people probably don't, until they come to Dinamo, until they've been dynamotised.
I love that word, dynamotised.
then they really start to appreciate the club. And that's something that we're really proud of. We're accepting of all the different people that we have at this club, and we call them Dinamo people, because if you've been around at this club, particularly the kids, a lot of these kids come through 7, 8 years old, 9 years old, and they're here when they're 16 and 18, and hopefully they're maybe playing seniors one day, but they're Dinamo kids, okay? And that's really important for us. So when you're at our club, you're a Dinamo person, It doesn't matter who you are, what you are.
Yeah, big shout out to Sam Nikolopoulos. Go Dinamo, great club, ran by great people starting from the top. Absolutely. And that just epitomizes everything. But dynamotize, that I love that verb, to be dynamotised. It's almost like to be baptized, I suppose. But one man that has definitely been dynamotised is Ian Burke, who's the under-23s assistant coach, and he's now also our roving post-match reporter for DinamoTV. Notice his intonation was like a native. He didn't say Dinamo, he said DinamoTV. So well done to Berkey once again, keeping up the great work there. So we're going to hear a lot about the tournament this year. It's going to be massive. It's going to be huge. It's going to be the greatest show on earth. But going one step further, next year, 2025, promises to be a huge year, and there's some great plans regarding the growth, but also the infrastructure and facility improvements. Tell us a little bit what's on the horizon.
So next year is our 50th year, which is a massive milestone for a little club out of St Albans, which was, formed almost 50 years ago by, young, passionate Croatians that have migrated from back home here, started new life, took on the responsibilities of forming a club, and then, kept the club going, very passionate about it. And some of those people are still involved in this club. So, we're all part of that. And we're looking for a massive year next year. Now, hopefully, what comes along with that is our plans of, major infrastructure works at the facility here at Churchill Reserve. Mm-hmm. And that's all in its initial stages at the moment. We do have plans. We have presented the plans to our members and at our presentation night last year, and they are detailed drawings. They are detailed, wants, and yes, we are aiming for the sky, and we're happy to aim for the sky, but we're going to back it up too by really giving it a push, getting some, funding through various sources, putting our own money on the line if need be. But we really do want to open up our club, and the possibility of having 150, 200 girls one day, changing rooms for those girls. We need new changing rooms to bring us up to date with modern standards for our men, for our women, for everyone that comes to our club, even opposition teams. They deserve better at this club. So collectively, we need this to move forward and to become a better club. In return, I'm sure we're going to be more attractive to the general, soccer player out there looking for an opportunity to play. We also identified that we probably need a synthetic pitch. So that's something that's, on the horizons as well. We probably really do need that, again, to grow the opportunity for young kids to play the game of soccer, and grow their passion within the sport. Yeah.
Now, to achieve all of those things, it's obviously we need very good relations with the local council. We need a lot of government funding, whether it's at the local, state, or federal level. But we've got some fantastic blokes that are working with the council, liaising with the council. Who are some of those guys? And give them a little bit of a shout out as well.
Well, look, I think a very well-known member of our club is Ante Rosanic, mm-hmm. who has been up in this level of communication with all the local authorities, MPs, and so on. And he does an amazing job of reaching out and understanding, their possibilities of, what they can do for us, but also understanding what we need. And Ante was a major part of designing our future, and the footprint that we need to move forward. He spent many, many hours, and he does have great support people around him, that come in and out of conversations with him. Johnny Bilosh plays a big part in that too. To be honest, I'm not really much involved in that because I do trust these guys and I do want them to, to take control of it and own it. So we can't all be doing everything, but we are good at allocating tasks to different people and then, believing in them and they're going to do the right thing by the club.
Yeah, and sponsors. Without sponsors, we really would struggle because sponsors are the backbone of any club. And we've got some unbelievable sponsors. And a big shout out to some of those sponsors as well, who have provided some of their video adverts, if you like. Some of them are done absolutely professionally. And DinamoTV is actually starting to look like a real TV show. So it's great. We've also got one more advert to come on as well. But speaking of sponsors, speaking of advertisers, a big one coming up, this big event, big function coming up on Sunday as part of the big Croatian derby, the game against Dandenong City. And there's the game kickoff times for the games. The under-23s at 2:30 p.m. Then the big game at seniors at 5 p.m. And apparently it's going to be 27 degrees in beautiful Melbourne. So it is going to be absolutely perfect. But inside the club rooms, we've got the annual sponsors luncheon, and it is huge. It's grown from a small event to a big event. Tell us a little bit more about the sponsors luncheon.
Yeah, so Tonchi, our sponsors luncheon is, I think, in its fourth year, approximately, and I can recall the first year when, we sent invitations out to all our sponsors. And because it wasn't the norm and it wasn't something that people were familiar with our club, we weren't getting much responses. We weren't getting, the RSVPs, and we think, are these people going to come? How do we cater for this? What do we do? Are these people really part of the club? Do they want to be part of the club? There was a lot of unknowns. Anyway, the first one went really, really well. It ended up being a fantastic day. They all showed up, but what we got in that was, this does work. This showing appreciation to the people that support you year after year. These people really do appreciate these type of days and the lunches that we put on. So it has grown. The first one was about 70, 80 people. Last year was close to 200 sponsors pre-game. And it was an awesome day. And now it's become, it's everyone knows about it. All our sponsors know about it. They look forward to it. We look forward to hosting them and putting on a fantastic day where everyone enjoys themselves. And, within themselves, they start to network and build relationships amongst themselves. So it's an awesome day for us.
Well, we certainly look forward to the Sunday's sponsorship luncheon. We will be there as DinamoTV, and we'll be taking some footage. And next week's show, we will be also having some interviews with some of the sponsors. We'll also be having an overview of what happens. But mate, all the very, very best for Sunday. We're hoping a huge crowd can come, can be in attendance. Like we said, the weather is absolutely perfect. It's going to be a big game, a great game on the park, but also often the under-23s, it's second versus fourth or equal second teams playing against each other. So there's going to be some top-class football action on the field and some big stuff happening off the field. Ilya, thank you for your time. It's been an enthralling conversation. I'm sure the fans, the members, the supporters out there have really appreciated it.
Thanks, Taunchi, and thanks for all your efforts in making DinamoTV possible. And this show can only get better with your involvement and with the support that everyone's giving us around the club. And I look forward to seeing this TV show continuing over the years to come. It's a fantastic portal for not only our club, I think, but for the community in
Absolutely.
general. And we look forward to welcoming other clubs part of this and making them part of the community as well.
Yeah, absolutely. One of your greatest achievements, I think, has been getting a Hajdukovac to wear a Dinamo cap and a Dinamo top. All the very best, mate. Wishing you once again all the best. So you never know, DinamoTV may one day even win a Logie.
Good luck with that one.
Good on you. Bye-bye. Back to DinamoTV, folks. We are about to announce who last week's Player of the Week was, who took out the Player of the Week award. We'll find out very shortly, but first, a short commercial break.
Westar Prestige is a family-owned second-generation business which is celebrating 50 years of operations this year. They're a specialist prestige collision repair facility situated in the western suburbs of Melbourne, Victoria. However, they service all regions in the state, with many of their clients travelling from far and wide to use their services. They're also able to provide a digital platform for quoting clients' vehicles who are unable to personally attend their premises. They're an authorised manufacturer-approved repair facilities for Mercedes-Benz, Tesla, Peugeot and Suzuki, and are proud of their ongoing affiliation with these brands. They also work closely with a number of Australia's largest insurance brands who entrust them to be part of their preferred repairer network. Their support staff are always happy to assist clients from the initial process of lodging claims through to the final stages of collection of the vehicle on completion of repairs and post-repair. So remember, for all your prestige collision repair needs, consider Westar Prestige, an award-winning, long-standing Australian-owned business.
Welcome back to DinamoTV, and it is time to announce who this week's or last week's Player of the Week award was. But before we do that, a couple of Cheerios out to Danny Yutisha, who says in the comment section, well done, Ilya. Also to Dave Kappa, who says, good show, guys. Thank you, folks. Thank you for being active in the comment section. But as I said, it's round 2 of the NPL Victoria competition. We did very, very well on the weekend. And I tell you, the following recipient of the Player of the Week award really got us all excited, got the fans screaming and jumping for joy. And he's the scorer of Dinamo's first goal for this season. It's congratulations to Josh Divin for taking out the second Player of the Week award. Josh, welcome to DinamoTV and congratulations once again.
Thank you very much. It's good to be on here. It's great to be on here.
Now, it's good to have you on the show, mate. Well, last year you played in the Western United Academy team. So you've stepped up a division, gone from a couple of divisions. Last year was NPL 3 and now you're playing in NPL 1. First of all, how have you found the transition to NPL football?
It's been really good so far. It's coming from Western United, obviously. It's a little bit different kind of setup, being in the academy there, coming to a senior team. It's been a bit of a different adjustment, but it's been really good so far. Fit in really well with all the boys. Made me feel at home, and it's been so good so far. And it's a bit different. Obviously, the level is a little bit more intense as well. But it's something I've gotten used to, and it's been really.
Were you expecting that level of intensity, or is it something that has taken you a little bit by surprise?
I guess I was expecting it to be a bit of a step up. It's been a bit of a step up, but at the same time, I've kind of been ready for that, and
Well, first 2 performances, draw last week against Port Melbourne on the road, which is always a tough game there at JL Murphy Reserve, and look, Port Melbourne obviously a different team, but they still were a team that finished in the top 4 last year, and then obviously coming up against the might of Avondale. But in neither game have you been overawed. In fact, if anything, there've been patches where you've been very, very dominant. This week, let's turn our attention now to this week's game. St Albans taking on Dandenong City, the sister club, the big Croatian derby. Always attracts a big crowd, always attracts a lot of passion on and off the park as well. What have the boys in the dressing rooms told you about this big clash coming up?
I've heard a lot. Apparently, big crowd. All the fans kind of get behind the game, which they did against Avondale as well, which is really good having that support. I'm really keen to get out there and play this game, and all the boys have been buzzing at training to kind of get out there and play. I guess everyone's making hard challenges, going in hard, preparing for the game. It's been really good. And I'm really looking forward to the game, and hopefully we can come away with the win.
Well, it's still early days, obviously, but a win and a draw from the first 2 games, and a win here would catapult the team more than likely into the top 6, and Dandenong City there occupying 7th position, just outside of the top 6. But look, about your own performance, have you kind of set yourself any goal for this year? Are you looking at sort of
as an attacker, X amount of goals, or you're just looking to get certain amount of airtime or on the park? What sort of goals have you set yourself?
Yeah, look, I don't like to set myself a goal number. I just kind of take it week by week, and I know I'm training well each session. I'm going to be playing each week, and then it gives me the best opportunity to score on the weekend. So I know if I'm not thinking ahead of time too far, I can kind of focus on each game that's at hand and know the opposition I'm playing, know who I'm playing with that weekend, and go out there and try and do the best for the team and score goals. So yeah, it's just one of those things where I know if I'm dedicating myself every session, then I'm going to be playing most of the games, and if I can do that, then it's going to set me up for a good season.
Tell us a little bit about the Josh Divin story. Where did you start playing first, and how did you sort of progress to the Western United Academy team?
Yeah, so I actually grew up mostly in Tasmania. So I played NPL in Tasmania for South Hobart, down in Tassie. Played there seniors for about 2 years, and then basically had a connection to Western United, came over and trialled there. And then, yeah, they picked me up, went to Western United last year, played the season there, and then pretty much kind of, come over to Dinamo. So that's been my journey. So,
fantastic. Now, which team do you support, whether it's locally or overseas?
Yeah, I go in the Premier League. Go for Manchester City.
Yep.
So people say it's a bit of a bandwagon, but I guess just got given a shirt when I was younger, and I've just gone for them ever since. So that's my excuse. So obviously they're doing pretty well at the minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, follow them. So.
Good. And finally, do you have any pre-match meal, any favourite pre-match meal, or even do you have any pre-match rituals that you might go, sort of undertake on a regular basis before games?
Yeah, look, I think just getting a good sleep in the night before, having a good nutritious breakfast, normally like some eggs on toast or something like that. Then I like to kind of visualize the game a bit. I don't have a full set routine, but I have a few things I like to do. Like last few weeks, actually, I've been eating sushi, but it changes up before the game. And then when I come into the dressing room, I like to get there nice and early, just so I'm kind of in that right mental state, not rushing to get to the game or anything like that. Don't want to be late. So that's probably the main thing, is just not rushing to get there.
No problem. Well, good, mate. You'll be there nice and early, no doubt. Probably to even look at the under-23s, because they'll be kicking off at 2:30, and the big game, seniors, at 5 p.m. We spoke to President ILIJA DRAGICEVIC. There's going to be a massive sponsors luncheon happening prior to the game as well. The weather is going to be absolutely immaculate, and I tell you what, we're going to have a massive crowd on Sunday. Josh, all the best. Good luck, not just for Sunday, but for the rest of the year as well. And congratulations on winning the Player of the Week.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on here.
Good on you.
Appreciate it.
Josh Divin on DinamoTV. Folks, don't go away. It'll be time to wrap the show up. And that brings us to the end of DinamoTV episode 6. What a great episode it was, and how quickly it's flown. It's probably been our longest episode this year, but certainly well worth listening to and tuning in. And we will see you folks all on Sunday, as all roads lead to Churchill Reserve. Until next Thursday night at 8 p.m, Mismo Dinamo. Good night.